Thank you, Ling. So, picking up from what we just said, the one of the values that I talked about earlier, which is the ability to utilize and communicate testing results, and this is enabled through the integration between the recorder and Katalon TestOps. So, Katalon TestOps is a test orchestration platform. It allows you to manage the testing activities and optimize testing activities. And as part of that process, it also offers the features to provide the analytics and the reporting capabilities that can help you answer questions like, what was the last time that this particular test execution was successful? And that's just a question that I think a lot of testers have been asked over and over again. And I also talked about the flexibility to migrate from your existing solution to other solutions, right? And Katalon Recorder offers the ability to migrate your test to Katalon Studio, which is a much more comprehensive, IDE for testers. It covers API, web, mobile, desktop platforms. It's a little bit, it's a little bit, you know, uh, heavy and then a little bit comprehensive. And it means that, of course, it doesn't mean that you should use Katalon Studio without considering other solutions. But if you already use Katalon Recorder, then using Katalon Studio is the next logical step, because a lot of concepts are shared between the products, and so you can really pick up Katalon Studio and use it to add values pretty quickly. But that's only one way of migration. Another migration path is from the recorder to Selenium WebDriver frameworks. So I don't think I need to introduce Selenium WebDriver frameworks. It's pretty popular already, but the recorder offers the ability to export the test to different languages, Java, C Sharp, Python, and then that and all of that integrates with a Selenium WebDriver framework, so you can migrate your tests easily one way or another. And Katalon Studio and Selenium are two of the most popular testing platforms right now. And then that's how Katalon Recorder enables you to migrate your tests easily, so that you can scale and optimize your tests once you reach a certain point of maturity. And this is just some screenshots of what I'm talking about right now. If you export tests to Katalon Studio, because it's a native integration, we have tried to improve the integration a lot, and so you can export a lot of tests, all of your test projects, including test data, all of that to Katalon Studio. So basically, just export it and then run the test. Most of the tests will be run successfully. I don't claim to be, we don't claim to have perfect coverage yet, but that's the goal that we're striving for. And so let me show you. I'm gonna pick just one or two features in each, value. Which is the values that you should be looking for when you're looking for a solution to kickstart test automation. This is the user interface of the recorder. And so it's relatively clean. When you visit the recorder for the first time, you can just actually click on the record button and start creating tests. You don't have to specify the URL or anything like that. It will automatically pick up the URL on your currently active tab. And so it is very convenient, and aligning with the team of kickstarting test automation, it helps you create a lot of tests really quickly. And the option to execute rather obvious. You can execute a test case, you can execute a test set, which is just a collection of test cases. You can just execute everything. And so onto the first value, which is to help you kickstart test automation with less resources and efforts. These are the sample projects that we talked about earlier, and we have more than a dozen sample projects covering different cases, conditional, cases, verify values, execute JavaScript, and fill in the form, and then different things. So it's very convenient. You can just click, you can just add these sample projects, and then it will help you to see how exactly you can accomplish these tasks. And so that's how you can kickstart test automation with less resources and experience. So the second thing is to reduce the frictions to execute a lot of tests. Let me show you how to do data-driven execution in the recorder. And I dare to show you this because it's really very simple. And we have tried to make it very simple. And so you can see this is a simple test case, which is just filling in the inputs with some values. And let me execute that for you. Just that, okay? And now suppose you have this particular file, which is contains, well, realistically, this will contain a lot of rows with a lot of first and last names, some weird values, special characters, things like that. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm just gonna have this simple file. And so the problem here is that how can you execute this test case using the test data that I just showed you. And so the first thing is to import the test data. And I already imported it, but you can just click on the folder icon. And after you imported the test data, just right click on this, use this in a test case, choose a test case, in this case the test data, next, and then replace this value with a column names. And that's it. And now execute a test case, right? It will automatically pick the values from the CSV file, the test data, and execute the test case for you. And really simple, right? Yeah. And then another thing that can help you reduce the efforts to uncover defects is to reuse the test. If you remember, it's also one of the things I talked about earlier, right? So let's say that you have test cases that touch a particular feature and other test cases that touch another feature, right? And now you want to execute only tests the tests that are relevant only to some particular features. And if you can do that, then it's going to help you save a lot of time instead of having to execute everything in this test suite, or to pick manually the set of test cases you have to choose and then play them one by one, right? And so in the recorder, you can actually tag the test cases with different tags. So I have already tagged the test cases with 3 different features, and this means that these test cases touch, go through the flows that eventually test this feature A. And similarly, all of these other test cases also touch other features as well. And so once you have tagged the test cases, well, you can use the tag management here, or you can just click on the tag icon next to the test case name, and then you can input the tag name here. But the point is, after you tag the test cases, the next logical thing is to execute them. And so you can just click on a tag, right? And then now you will have the ability to create a new dynamic test suite, which is just a test suite that allows you to dynamically gather the test cases with different tags. And so you can easily categorize and then execute a test. And if you click on execute, it will, well, the language is a little bit confusing right now, but you have created a dynamic test suite that touches different test cases, and you can actually execute this test suite to see how it works. And then let me just execute that for you, just to see how it works. It's going to be very quickly because the tests are relatively short. Okay, yeah, so that's it. The dynamic test suite has executed, and so you can see how this is going to help you save a lot of time, right? So if you want to execute the test case with feature A or feature B, you can actually do it like this, right? And this is very convenient, and it's going to help you save a lot of time when you want to execute tasks that are only relevant to a particular feature. And so this is going to help you reduce time and frictions to uncover defects. All right. And then another thing I would like to show is the ability to integrate with TestOps. So we've talked about TestOps earlier. And actually, after you set up the everything, which means you log in and then log into the recorder and TestOps, you can actually click on the upload report here to upload the executions from the recorder to TestOps. And so just click on the upload report and then choose a project. I only have one project, but yeah, you get the point. And just click upload. And once the upload is done, you can see that you will be navigated to a TestOps page where you can see all of the past executions. And I talked about one of the questions that I think a lot of developers are asking testers: what was the last time that this particular test execution passed, right? So if you can just filter this one, and then the last time that it passed an hour ago. So if this test passed an hour ago and now it failed, you can see that, okay, what are the changes that have been made in the past hour, and you can start an investigation from there. And so that's really convenient, right? One final thing is the ability to migrate the recorder test to other platforms. So you can click on the export button and then choose the framework. By default, obviously it's Katalon Studio because it's the recommended method, and you can actually select all of the test suites at once or just choose individual test cases. And like I said, the migration process from the recorder to Studio is optimized. So not only the test cases and test suites are exported, the test data are exported as well. And you can see, the different, here's the content of the test case in the recorder, and here's the content of the test case in Katalon Studio. And so you can preview the content of the test in Studio, right? And like I said, we support exporting to other Selenium frameworks and languages as well. And so the same principle applies, but now the preview, you can use the preview to see the recorded tests in different languages.